In today's recap, we have a huge update on both Mike Trout and Dustin May. One of them is going to be out for the rest of 2023. Juan Soto, he faced off against Shohei Ohtani. After calling out Shohei, we're going to see who won that battle. And the Orioles, they are calling up one of their super prospects, Colton Cowser. The kid absolutely rakes. All of that in today's MLB Recap, a series in which we recap every single game almost every single day. And a reminder, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off all your tickets. Now, before we get into the injury updates, I do want to talk about the lone walk-off victory from yesterday, and that happened in the Guardians and the Braves game. Amed Rosario, he has been a hit machine as of late, and I'll give him credit for that. He made it 2-zip for Shane Bieber, and Bieber, he was shredding up until the 5th inning when Ozzie Albies belted his 21st home run of the year. He is the first second baseman in the history of baseball to have 160 doubles and 120 home runs by their age 26 season. In my opinion, I don't think that you can call a player like that overrated. The Braves, they actually stole the lead, but the hit machine Amed Rosario, he cut the deficit on a solo home run, and Steven Kwan, he tied it up. So now it's 4-4, and did Amed clutch up again? He is a terrible defender in my opinion. He has an awful plate approach, but he's hitting .343 with 18 RBIs over his last 25 games, so I gotta tip my cap to that. Class A, he's gonna close this one. Of course he's not, because he's been pretty bad this season. I'm not gonna lie. Ozzie Albies, he now has 22 home runs, and Class A has 7 blown saves. We head to the 10th inning where Atlanta, they're gonna test Miles Straw arm, which is a terrible idea. That double play ends it. Miles Straw, as bad as I think he is in the batter's box, he is still otherworldly defensively. The rookie David Fry stepped up with a chance to win it, and he did it. Felt like winning Game 7 to me because the Braves are such a good team. They are a super team. Really fun game for me. I enjoyed myself, especially because it was 4th of July. Real quick, before we talk about Mike Trout's injury update, I want to show this A's and Tigers game because Tarek Skubal, he was making his first start in over a year because he's coming back from injury. He had Tommy John surgery. I think it was a right flexor tendon surgery, so maybe not full-blown Tommy John. He was amazing. The dude threw 4 no-hit innings with 6 punchies. They limited him to 60 pitches, so he was taken out after those 4 innings. But even as a Cleveland fan, I'm really happy that Skubal is back. Unfortunately, though, his lineup got bullied by JP Sears of the Oakland Athletics. He has been incredible over the last few weeks. He's gone 7 innings in 3 of his last 4 starts. He nearly tossed 8 shutout in this one. The Tigers staff was just as good. They only allowed 3 base hits the entire night, but the third was all that Oakland needed. That Ryan Noda RBI base hit, that did it. Trevor May, he has 6 saves on the year now. Okay, let's talk about the Mike Trout injury update. Actually, I do want to talk about Dustin May's injury because it was the same injury that Tarek Skubal suffered, so it's kind of a nice little segue into the next topic. Dustin May, he's going to be missing the rest of 2023. He needs surgery, the same exact surgery as Tarek Skubal. Flexor tendon surgery in his right elbow. LA, they have been getting torched by injuries. Walker Buehler, Gavin Lux, Dustin May. I mean, right now on the shelf, they have Clayton Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin, and Julio Urias. They've been on the IL as well. The Dodgers, if they even make it deep into the playoffs, I'm going to be very impressed because they have been decimated by the baseball gods and injuries. We might as well get the Dodger game out the way now. Nick Gonzalez of the Pirates, go off, bro. He has 6 extra base hits and 9 RBIs in his first 11 MLB games. Again, he's a rookie. James Outman, he's finally back in a recap. He has been awful the last month and a half. That 2-run home run got LA right back into it. Again, he's really cooled off, so that's nice to see. Mookie Betts, he's up to 23 home runs on the season. He has officially passed 60 WAR for his career. He's going to make the Hall of Fame without a doubt. But here comes the Pirates. Jack Sawinski, he deleted a baseball 442 feet for his 18th home run. A sac fly from Austin Hedges ties it at 4-4, and there's the lead for the Pirates. Brian Reynolds, he puts the Pirates up by, and the lead's gone again because James Outman hit one out again. James went 34 games without a home run, and then he bops 2 in a single one. Rookie Henry Davis, he ties it again on a base hit in the 6th inning, only to see his team lose the lead again on a home run from fellow rookie Johnny DeLuca, his first career home run. Evan Phillips, he went out there to save it, and he did the exact opposite. Another rookie clutched up. Jared Triolo, he knocked home Jack Sawinski. If I botched that last name, I'm sorry. And Josh Palacios, he doubled in 2 more to put the Pirates up by 2. David Bednar, he came in. It was not a save opportunity. It was actually a win opportunity. So there you go. He is 3-0 on the season. Both the Pirates and the Dodgers are 5-5 over their last 10 games. I'm so sad for Angels fans. Mike Trout is going to be out for the next 5 to 6, maybe even 7 weeks with a broken hamate bone in his right hand. The first time I ever heard about this injury was back in the day when Josh Hamilton was still playing. He broke his hamate hamate bone on a swing, and then J-Ram a couple years later in 2019 had the same injury, and they were out for 6 to 7 weeks, which is not good at all for the Angels, and it really just begs the question, should they trade Shohei? We'll talk about it after we see him pitch. Let's see if the Halos can pick up a W and prove that maybe they can still fight for a playoff spot even without Trouty. Ohtani, he won the first battle versus Juan Soto because the night before, Soto pretty much called out Shohei Ohtani and said that he was going to have a tough time with the Padres lineup and that he's not afraid to Soto shuffle on Ohtani. Ohtani, he was cruising early, but he got into some trouble in the 4th inning. Jake Cronenworth, he doubled in 2, giving Joe Musgrove a lead to work with. Now, Joe did allow a solo home run to the former Padre, Hunter Renfroe, but he locked in and struck out the next 3 to end the 5th inning. Ohtani, he answered by striking out Soto and Tatis to end the 5th inning. Ohtani tried his very best to keep the Halos in it, but Xander Bogaerts, he teed off for a 2-run home run, and then San Diego, they entered the Crone zone. But Juan Soto himself went 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, so there you go. Joe Musgrove struck out 2 more in the 7th to end a sick 11 strikeout day. He has a 2.5 ERA over his last 5 starts. The Padres ended up with 8, but I do want to show this Joe Adell RBI triple because all I'm asking from the baseball gods is to allow Joe Adell to be good for 5 or 6 weeks up until Mike Trout is back, because I want Shohei Ohtani to make the playoffs with the Angels. Man, Josh Hader now has 19 saves, but let's talk about that. Is it time to trade Shohei Ohtani? I know I'm pouring salt on the wound considering Mike Trout has an injury. Ohtani gave up 5 runs, and now it's his 29th birthday, and we're talking about if the Angels should trade him or not. But it's a valid question because the Angels, they're like 45 and 43. They're not really looking like a great team right now, and in large part because they've suffered so many injuries. They were playing really well, and then injuries just really kind of tore them apart. Logan O'Hoppe, to me, was their biggest injury. So to me, you can completely retool your farm system and maybe even the top half of your lineup with a Shohei Ohtani trade, despite him probably being a rental. Whoever trades for Shohei Ohtani, he's going to be a free agent after 2023, so you don't want to give up too much, but he's still Ohtani. He's 2 players in 1. You're going to have to give up a lot. So let me know in the comments down below, should the Angels trade Shohei Ohtani? If I had to put my money on it, I would say that Shohei is going to be in a different uniform in the next month. The Padres have won 2 games in a row, whereas the Angels have now lost 2 games in a row, and they'll fall to just 1 game ahead of Seattle if the Giants cannot grab a W. Mike Ford, he has been surprisingly very good for the Mariners. That's his 7th home run and 68 at-bats. He has a 160 OPS plus. Logan Gilbert, he appreciated that early lead, and he used that to turn the Giants offense into a Little League squad. After J-Rod's single in the 6th and A.J. Pollock's 2-run blast in the 8th inning, Gilbert, he went out and tossed a scoreless 8th and then a scoreless 9th. That is the very first complete game shutout in Logan Gilbert's young career. I think that he's only going to get better and better. He and the Mariners send the Giants to their 4th loss in a row. Now, since we talked about the Angels and the Mariners, we got to talk about the Astros and the Rangers. We'll do the Rangers after the easy Houston game because Greg Kessinger, the rookie, socked his first ever home run. He had 16 home runs and 23 stolen bases last year in Double-A. It just seems like the Astros have unlimited dudes. Now, there were 2 more singles in the 5th that put Brandon Bielak up even more, and to be honest, he didn't even need those extra runs. Bielak shut out the Rockies offense over 7 amazing innings, but were they amazing? Because he walked 4, he only gave up 2 base hits, so 6 total base runners over 7. Yeah, that's pretty good. Chas McCormick, he raised his OPS plus to 126 after the RBI single. And I do want to show this solo home run from Chris Bryant because I kind of just forget he exists sometimes. He's been so quiet. He has 11 home runs and a 105 OPS plus in his first 96 games as a Rocky, so he's kind of just been mid at best. The Astros have won 3 games in a row, so we got to check on these struggling Rangers to see if they can reverse the recent curse. Mitch Garver, he is still one of my favorite players in all of baseball because he's a catcher that rakes. After that 3-run home run, he has 27 home runs and a 120 OPS plus over his last 146 games. Dane Dunning, he carved up Boston to a tune of 6 innings, only 1 earned run allowed. He punched out 4 as well. He has a 2.6 ERA. By the way, he was traded for Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn has a 6.5 ERA. Josh Young, he is the starting third baseman for the All-Star game. He made it 5-1 in Boston. Apparently, they were just too scared to pitch to Garver. They walked him with the bases loaded. Garver had a 4 RBI day. The Red Sox lost 6-2, but I just want to mention that their center fielder, Jarren Duran, is 7 for his last 8 with 6 extra base hits over his last 8 at-bats. The Rangers are still ahead in first place by 3 games, but the Astros, they've won 3 games in a row. The Mariners, they're back to 500 after winning 4 in a row. The second half is going to be so stressful for the NL West players. Same with the NL Central because even though I still like the Brewers to come out on top, Cincinnati, they are not going anywhere anytime soon. They're getting better and better as the days pass. Jonathan India and Spencer Steer have both been monsters in the box all year long. They teamed up for 2 RBI singles in the 1st. Nick Senzel, he must have thought that was warm because it's July 4th. He wanted to get festive. He stepped up in the third and belted a long 3-run home run. Always fun to see home runs on the 4th of July. So that right there is also fun for me because Jonathan India deleted that baseball 420 feet for his 12th home run, and there's his 13th. India, he's now on pace for 24 home runs and 23 stolen bases. Elly De La Cruz, by the way, he went 4 for 4. He had a sac fly in the 8th inning. He was like 1 for 28 against lefties to begin his career. So seeing him square up a few baseballs against lefty Patrick Corbin, that was a good sign. The Cincinnati Reds have won 3 in a row. If we're going to talk about the Reds, we have to talk about the Brewers, and they were facing off against another NL Central team, the Cubs. Yan Gomes and Dansby Swanson, they plated the first few runs for Chicago, with Dansby's being his 10th home run. He also has 9 DRS and 10 outs above average defensively. He has been a wizard out there. Kyle Hendricks, he allowed just 1 run over 6. Really nice to see him have a 2.6 ERA after struggling mightily over the last few years. Rookie Miguel Amaya, he ripped a huge 2-run double in the 8th to make it 6-2, and here come the Brewers. Tellez and Adames, they turned it into a 2-run deficit, and Yelly, he singled in Tapia to make it even closer, and that's a blown save. A sac fly from William Contreras ties it up, so extras we go. Ian Happ, he must have a rocket attached to his arm because he saved the Cubs multiple times. He grabbed his first outfield assist in the 10th, and then after Nico Horner gave Chicago the lead, Happ delivered again. His second outfield assist of the extra innings sends Milwaukee packing, and that Brewers loss gives the Reds sole possession of first place yet again. The Yankees and the Orioles faced off. Gleyber Torres is quietly having a pretty good season. He has 13 home runs and 2 DRS. He has 11 DRS out there since the beginning of 2022. Aaron Hicks, the former Yankee, the boos were raining down after he hit a home run. He was rounding the bases. I mean, he still got love for New York, I guess. He said it on Instagram, and same with his brother and I think his sister or something. Adam Frazier, he went yard again. He tied a career high with his 10th home run already. He did it in just 80 games. Now, the Yankees, they did not give up as Stanton's single put New York back up by 1, and after Jose Trevino popped off for a solo home run in the 7th, Harrison Bader, he clutched up for 2 more RBIs. The Yankees are like 10 or 15 games over 500 when Harrison Bader is healthy and plays this year. Baltimore, they lose the first 2 games of this series. They're now just 2 games up of the Yankees in the standings. They responded by calling up their number 2 prospect, Colton Cowser. He's a top 50 prospect. He flat out rakes. He hit .330 with 10 home runs and 7 stolen bases in 56 AAA games this year. All the Orioles are missing is Grayson Rodriguez being a top dog and ace for that squad, and they can make some serious noise in the playoffs this year. The White Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays, this game can honestly be recapped in 30 seconds because all of the scoring happened on just 3 swings. 2-hit Whit Merrifield, he knocked in 2 RBIs on his 17th double. It still blows my mind that he's an all-star, but he's a 3-time all-star now, I guess. Luis Robert Jr., he is one of the few players in baseball with a 4 WAR already. After that 3-run go-ahead home run, he's up to 25 home runs, 8 stolen bases, and 9 outs above average in the outfield. The White Sox, they were so close to a W, but Vladdy, he snatched it out of their hands. Vladdy Jr. now has 7 extra base hits, 12 RBIs, and a 160 OPS plus over his last 11 games. Romano, he's up to 25 saves, which is best in Major League Baseball. I just want to throw it out there that the Jays are 46-40, but to me, going into the second half, they could be one of the better teams in all of baseball. The Royals and the Twins, Max Kepler is raking up right before our very own eyes. Yes, I purposely said raking, not waking. In back-to-back games, he's plated 4 RBIs, and he did so in the first 3 innings of this one. There was an RBI single in the first and a 3-run pimp job in the 3rd inning. Max Kepler is an elite defender. He's now hitting .342 with 4 home runs over his last 2 weeks of play. Bobby Witt Jr., he got 2 of those runs back on a prodigious 2-run home run. He's hitting .301 over his last 25 games. He's on pace for a 25 home run, 47 stolen base season. Minnesota, they got those runs back on home runs from Donovan Solano and Byron Buxton as Zach Greinke. He falls to a 1-9 record with a near 5.5 ERA. Kenta Maeda finally did not get lit up. He set down the Royals pretty easily over 7. He struck out 9 while only allowing 3 base hits as the Twins, they went easy 9-3. So Zach Greinke's fall from grace has been pretty apparent, and so has Adam Wainwright's, but it's even worse. Jesus Sanchez, that 3-run dong in the first, started a monster day for him, and Garrett Cooper, he launched one as well. This was in the 3rd inning. Garrett Cooper stepped up again later in the 4th, knocking in 2 more runs to make it a 7 spot off of Adam Wainwright. Now, he only was credited for 4 earned runs, but it was still 7 on the day. He has a 7.6 ERA and a negative 1.5 WAR. He has 28 strikeouts in 51 innings. Like, he is the most washed up pitcher I have ever seen. Yachty, he's got to feel sad for his old battery mate because Waino, I mean, he should have retired last year. He should have wrapped it up. But yeah, he's had one of the worst starts to a season in Major League Baseball history. Jesus Luzardo, he was fantastic again. He struck out 9 Cardinals over 6 shutout, 0 runs with 26 strikeouts over his last 19 and a third innings pitched. He has been one of the best pitchers in baseball over the last month. Rookie Dane Myers, he grabbed his first career RBI in the 7th. He hit 440 with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs in 20 AAA games after being called up from AA, so he looks like he's going to be really good. Soler, he got Miami into the double digits, and Jesus Sanchez ripped a single for his 4th RBI, and it just kind of got ugly from there. They beat the Cardinals 15-2, like 1 week after the Cardinals lost 14-0 against the Astros. The Marlins are 50-37, the Cardinals are 35-50. Their season's donezo. Here we go, the Diamondbacks and the Mets. Corbin Carroll is 2 home runs away from a 2020 first half. He's got 18 home runs and 24 stolen bases, kind of been a mini Ronald Acuna Jr., just better defensively because he plays a great defense in all 3 outfield spots. Starling Marte, he came up later in the 4th and saved Max Scherzer. He gave Max the lead momentarily, and I say that because Scherzer immediately gave up 2 very long home runs. Walker went 450 feet for his 17th home run. Lourdes, he went 410 for his 14th. Brandon Nimmo, he answered by tying it right back up. He's got 13 home runs and a near 380 on base percentage. With really good defense out there in center, he has been worth every single penny. You know who has not been worth every single penny this year? Mad Max. Max Scherzer now has a 4 ERA and a 4.4 FIP, which is not good because he's walking more hitters and he's allowing nearly twice as many home runs on the year. Speaking of home runs, Max got bailed again, this time courtesy of a rookie, Francisco Alvarez. This dude can flat out mash. He's up to 14 home runs and just 191 at bats this year. Lindor, he smoked an RBI double, his 20th double. He has 56 RBIs. The Mets do escape with an 8-5 victory, but they really had to work for it. The Mets, they've won 3 in a row, whereas the Diamondbacks, they've lost 6 of their last 10. We have the Rays and the Phillies. Zach Eflin was facing off against his former team and his old buddy Aaron Nola. Both were really good in this game. Alec Boehm grabbed the lead for Aaron Nola, but that was all that Zeffin allowed, well, at least for a while. Now I want to talk about Aaron Nola because he was insane. He got some help defensively from Brandon Marsh in the 5th inning. He's one of the best defensive outfielders I've seen in quite some time. He's so quick, he's got so much range, and he has a cannon for an arm. He made an amazing slide to rob the Rays of extra base hits. This was in the 5th inning, and Nola, he had 12 strikeouts through the first 6 innings. He was making Rays hitters look stupid all game long. After Bryson Stott singled home Schwarber, all-star, yes, I'm saying that right now, all-star Wander Franco, he cracked his 10th home run. He finally made the team as a reserve because the AL has so many injuries, so he's in it, thank goodness. But that was all that Aaron Nola allowed. He had 12 strikeouts over 7 1/3, and then Bryce Harper got that run back, so it didn't even really mean much. Kimbrel, he struck out 2 in the 9th. He now has 13 saves. He has a 0.69 very nice ERA with 23 strikeouts over his last 13 innings. Over the last month or so, I mean, you can make an argument that Craig Kimbrel has been MLB's best closing pitcher. That does it for today's recap. I'm going to go ahead and end it right there. Today was a long one, so thank you all so much for watching until the end. If you did, I appreciate all the support. Stay safe out there, and I'll catch you in the next one.